Okay, people, so I'm out here looking at all these no-cut fences. That's what brought me out here right now. Because this is the mainstay of where people that don't have housing come, right? Because they have a shelter over there, the needle exchange look over there, a few other services. This is outreach. But people can't even get to the outreach because it's all been fenced off, as you can see. Looks like they had a city sweep or something. Because normally there's tons of people in here. And there's nobody here today. So, either a whole bunch of people lost their stuff, and it's in some truck being sorted out, or do you see that, people? All the way down. Okay, this is like, to me, corralling the cattle. That's where the old community garden used to be. I don't know why they paint these murals. Like, it looks nice, but what does it represent? Right? That's where the old community garden used to be. Just a bunch of weeds. You know, all fenced off. So I guess this place is going to be moving pretty soon. Hold on. Okay, people, everybody's in a miserable mood here. Apparently the police rolled through, that's why there's nobody sitting here. Dispersing them. Telling them to go away. Right? Where they have no place to go. Right? They can't afford to rent an apartment. You know, rooms are few and far in between. Right? And with the cost of living, you know, it's expensive as a single person on a low income, you know, to cover the rent in an affordable fashion for the landlord. Right? As you can see.
Right now.
Yeah. It's red?
Yeah.
Okay, people. We're up by the strip out here. And
Yeah. My name is Kumar.
his name is Kumar.
Yeah.
And he agreed to do an interview with me.
Yeah.
Because the last time I seen him,
Yeah.
I came out for a different reason. Today, I came out to videotape those fences. To show what the people out here are having to deal with in terms of being fenced off and corralled like cattle for some ominous plan.
Yeah.
Okay? And this man has been dealing with this problem because it's a problem. This is his problem.
Yeah. I got no legs.
He has no legs,
Yeah.
and it's difficult for him to navigate,
Yeah.
and he's limited to a very low space
Yeah.
in terms of area, right? So, I want to ask you a question. How long have you been homeless for?
2-3 years, I think so.
Okay. He thinks, because he's forgotten it's been so long, people.
Yeah.
Right? 2-3 years. So on the short end of the stick, it's 2 years, and on the long end of the stick, it's 3 years. But for all we know, it could be 4 years by now.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you lose track of time when you're out here. And this is what people with the money don't understand. And this is something that my daughter told me. When you're out here and you get caught up in this rut, because that's what it is, it's a rut, you lose a sense of time.
Yeah.
And it gets very, very difficult to pull yourself back up by your bootstraps, with or without legs. But harder for a person that's limited to a wheelchair with limited resources to no resources. So you've been homeless for 3 years out here,
Yeah.
depending on the local shelter,
Yeah.
to give you what, showers? Help you with showering?
No.
Where do you get your showers?
I have to go somewhere else to take a shower.
Where do you go?
I have to go to this, what do you call that?
Rec center? No.
No.
Is it a facility that's offered to you because you have no legs?
Yeah.
So you're getting some sort of, so other people out here can't use it, only you because you don't have legs, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets access to a facility
Yeah.
designed for a person with no legs. How often are you allowed to utilize that?
I can go to washroom by myself, right?
No, I'm talking about a shower.
Shower. I can go to that place that called, I don't know the name. I forgot about the name.
Do you have to take a bus there?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Do you get taxi service there?
No, I go by
Bus.
Yeah, bus. Sometimes I cannot go by bus. I will wheel my chair.
You wheel yourself there.
Yeah.
And you wheel yourself back.
Yeah.
Where do you sleep at night?
I will sleep at the front room.
You sleep where? Upstairs or around
No.
the tables?
On the table.
Okay, so sir, people, this is what's going on. This man, okay, is sleeping around tables, all right, with a bunch of people around him that are, ill. And I'm not talking mentally ill. I am talking physically ill, okay? Let's define the definition of illness. These people in here have physical illnesses that, yes, some of it stems off into addiction and alcoholism and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, though, it's all physical. And he sits at the table with 40 to 60, 70 people, depending on the evening and how cold it is, sleeping in his wheelchair.
Yeah, and people rob me.
And people rob him.
Take everything from my backpack. I cannot move, right?
Uh-huh.
That's the problem I got. So when they take my stuff from my backpack, I lose everything.
Okay, so not only is he sleeping around a table, around a bunch of sick people, but he's also being robbed for his personal belongings. Have the police ever taken your stuff out on the street, or do they show you a little more sympathy because you're in a wheelchair?
Yeah, one policeman, they don't, they always take my beer and drop it out.
And then what? Do they take stuff from your bag?
No, they don't take my stuff from my bag, but they will take my beer out and throw it in the...
Oh, your beer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I cannot drink there, right?
Right.
I cannot drink there, I always drink outside.
Okay. But they haven't personally taken your belongings.
No.
Okay, so because he's got no legs, they cut him a little bit of slack. But everybody else there that's able-bodied, walking on 2 feet, whether they're sick or not, their stuff is open for grabs. And it's because they're trying to clear everybody out. They don't want them collecting any possessions and getting comfortable because they feel that it enables the action of homelessness. When in fact, politically, we know it's a lot more complicated than that. And that's why I'm talking to Kuba. And that's why I'm bringing out to the attention that all this fencing is just the precursor to bring in the ideology of a FEMA camp. And I'd like to remind the members and friends of this channel that we live in Canada.
Yeah.
We live in Canada. And we don't like American politics creeping into our cities and creeping into the streets where they're going to start ostracizing the poorest of the poor.
I'm American.
Well, we love you too, babe, though, I'm sure you're hearing it. NewNationsUnity.com. Look it up with a hyphen between new and nations. New Nations Unity. You'll see this video. You'll hear your voice. Okay, so is it Kuba or
Kumar, Kumar.
Kumar. Before I leave, people, I'm writing it down, and I'm going to correct it on the last video I made with him.
First name is Pradeep. Pradeep.
Pradeep.
Yeah, Pradeep Kumar.
Okay. So why are you out here?
I always sit down outside. I don't want to sit down there.
No. Why are you homeless?
Because I don't have a place. I had a place before.
Where's your family?
I don't have a family over here.
In Canada.
No, I have my brother, but he doesn't care.
Yeah?
So I live by myself.
Just your brother and only your brother?
Yeah, only my...
So you're first generation immigrant to Canada, is that it?
Yeah, my brother called me here. I didn't want to come here.
Oh, you didn't want to come. You wanted to stay in your own country, but the brother said, oh, come on, it's great. And then he leaves him out in the street. Like, what's wrong with that picture, people? And do you know how rich the South Asian community is in Surrey?
Yeah.
It is one of the richest cultures Because they have a stronghold in family. And they leave one of the weakest ones out in the streets because brother decided that he can't be bothered with his family member.
Yeah, because no, I didn't want it to stay there. I had my own place.
Uh-huh.
I have my own everything. I lost everything. I lost my two TV CR and my dining table with 6 chairs
Yeah.
and my...
And he came over as a first generation immigrant. So he doesn't have that infrastructure of wealth building like many South Asians out here do. Okay? So this is a good time for the South Asian community to wake up and listen and smell the freaking coffee. Seriously. Seriously. If you came to this country 100 years ago under, what is that called? How do you say that? 100 years ago when the first boat came over? Anyway, okay? And you as a South Asian person suffered racism and all this other institutional bullshit, but you struggled through it and you made it, and now you can own hundreds of thousands of properties across the province as a collective group of people, but you're still ignoring the most vulnerable in your community?
Yeah, I won $20,000 and somebody, some guys, they stole my money, $20,000.
And where was that?
That was in when I was living at my place. Somewhere there.
Because you were working.
Yeah,
You were working. So how did you lose your legs?
I lost my legs. I had a frostbite.
He had frostbite because he was homeless, people.
Yeah.
I heard about you at McDonald's when I was doing another interview with somebody else.
So I had a frostbite. I fell down on the snow,
Uh-huh.
slept on the ice, and I fell down and knocked myself.
Knocked himself out, fell down, slipped in snow,
Yeah,
couldn't wake up, was unconscious.
unconscious whole
They
night.
found him
Whole night I was there.
whole night.
Yeah,
That's how he lost his legs, people.
yeah.
Well, everybody's wealth building around him and putting up fences to bring in the freaking bus. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna touch base on this again. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem.
Okay, you can turn it off now. Thank you, sir.
Finger off.
Got it?
Just like that.
Oh, no, hold on. Okay, Kuba, you hold on.
What? I'm gonna go now.
No. Hold on, put it on me. Still recording. Hold it. Just.
Recording.
Yeah, no, we're gonna put it on us.
Oh,
Put it on us. Okay, people, I promised this man if he'd help us, right? He gets a jar jam. Do you want raspberry or blueberry?
I don't know. What do you want?
I'm giving the other one to Kuba.
What do you want, Kumar?
Anyone, I don't
Take
care.
your pick.
Take your pick. Somebody's got to pick.
Okay, give me one.
You want raspberry?
Yeah.
Raspberry. And you get blueberry.
Good.
I made them last week.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, no.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, people. So we're just going to recap on what you just seen. Okay? I just got home. And what provoked me to do this video is I got this little shill network that's infiltrating my channel with the thumbs down, right? With, elusive user accounts, nothing specific, nothing that puts any authority or sonority or authenticity, right? It's not authentic. These people are not authentic. They're just blurbs and blips on a computer that are taking advantage of the fact that they can randomly comment on my channel on various videos, even though they don't necessarily like what I stand and represent. What I represent. And whether it's talking about landlords or talking about gated fences. Okay? So the only thing that I can think of is because the majority of all these thumbs down are coming down from the United States of America, and I know that the political winds have been pushing really freaking hard to disenfranchise the poorest of the poor by any means necessary. They've taken Malcolm X freaking motto and they've twisted it to suit their agenda. so that, the conquer and divide between the masses and the people, it remains in effect so that, the people that commit white-collar crime can continue doing the things that they do to amass great wealth for themselves at the expense of abusing the most vulnerable in our society, which happen to usually be the poorest of the poor, or the working poor, or even in some cases the middle class, because, you're hearing, the middle class falling through the cracks in the United States of America, the politics is creeping in, it's overseas, it's coming in from overseas. So what? So we got politics coming in from overseas, influencing the political atmosphere of the United States of America, and because we're so close to Canada, in terms of the United States feels, because it's a bigger country with more people with a longer history, it has the right to import its politics into our communities, right? And when you get people standing up and saying, "Oh, hold on a minute, is this the precursor of a FEMA camp situation developing when you walk down a block?" And it's not just one block, people. That's the main block. There are other blocks in that neighborhood that have this no-cut fencing. Like whoever developed the concept of a no-cut fence must be rolling in the dough. Because I'm sure Surrey is not the only place that is using a fence as a means to corral and control their poverty issues. Because that's what it boils down to. And then you get this, the government in the United States, it all relates back to the United States. Should be interesting that I had an American man walk by just as I was talking to, let me pronounce his name correctly, Kumar. That's his last name. His first name is actually Pardeep. But he must like being called Kumar. Okay? And that American went by and told me he loved Canada. And I love Canada too, to some degree. Right? I was born here. Why wouldn't I? I have the freedom to be able to still talk to you, the viewer, right? And express, what's going on. And it's so subliminal, and that's the part that's scary. Just like these shills coming in with their subliminal negative comments, with their subliminal thumbs down, but yet not one of them can put an honest to God face to their vote, I guess you want to call it, or their opinion. They can't do a video. They can't make a video response, and they can have a conversation with me on the internet, but they would never agree with me, because that's not the purpose of them to show up at my channel. The purpose of them is to distract you, the new viewer coming in, or the viewer that at one point they're trying to persuade you to get off that bandwagon and help people and be caring, and they don't want you to be caring. They want you to oppress. They want you to oppress the ones that can actually put a voice to what they're thinking about. They want you to oppress the ones that can actually take you out there and show you visually, right, what they're talking about or what they're thinking about. Just like you just seen the little clip before this. I took you out there. I showed you physically what we're talking about when we're talking about the precursor of a FEMA camp and the ideology that goes, because it doesn't just start and stop there, people. This is a systemic problem, okay? Why is somebody coming up the stairs to distract me? I'll never understand.
No, I'm going down.
Yes, please. Thank you very much, because you knew I was going to do this. I lose my train of thought. It's like that Shill network, anything to conquer and divide and to distract and to take away from what is actually going on or being said. The reality of it is that is just the symptom, people. That's just the symptom. That's what you see is just the sore. Okay? You don't see the wound. And if you do see the wound, you're completely ignoring it, because it's like I said, that little homeless shelter with those tables with everybody sleeping there, 3/4, if not all those people got some sort of physical ailment. Physical. I'm not talking about mental health. I'm not talking about addictions. I'm talking about physical health issues. And then when you throw in the mental health and all the other stuff that goes on with just life in general, that's no way for people to live. And it doesn't warrant for them to be just corralled and wait for the next piece of legislation to be rammed home to the United States of America through the Senate or wherever it comes from, okay, however it's being done, because it's all pre-planned. It's like the landlord with the roof. They know 10 years in advance of what they're going to do. They know that they have to fix the roof in 10 years. These politicians in the United States already have a precursor to the plan in 10 years from now. Just like these politicians out here with their no-cut fences. Right? Thinking that's going to scare everybody away. I showed up after the cops rolled out. That's why there was nobody sitting up too much on the fence. They were kind of scattered around. But they all congregate together because in the end, you know, safety in numbers. You know, these people that want to scatter the numbers, you know, at the end of the day, the numbers are still going to come back together. And that's the point, people. That's why they got the FEMA fucking camp. Oh, yeah, that's for a disaster. Yes, I would like to think that there would be some services there for me, right? If there was a natural disaster. But these shills that are coming into my channel, like, you canning food, how dare you? You know, you need to downsize and take your little grandson and go put him in an apartment building and with the rest of the fucking lunatics, because that's where I live and I have to cope with it. So if I got to cope with it, you might as well do it too. And when you can't afford the rent because the provincial government or the state government comes in and releases the rental caps, and all of a sudden the landlords go for a fucking, you know, feeding frenzy and kick everybody out to raise the rents and all this other shit, fucking deal with it because I have to deal with it. Suck it up, buttercup. Yeah? Well, we don't talk about that, though, because these guys are shills. They don't want to acknowledge the fact of what the fuck is going on out here. It's called taxing the poorest of the poor. Overtaxing. User fees. Fines. Forcing them out into the streets to rent them back the same freaking apartment, only $300 more than what they paid last month. So that at the end of the day, when it comes election time, you can turn on your local channel, right, TV or whatever it is, computer, and you can listen to the propaganda and believe every word for word that these people that represent you, talking about you're a Canadian or you're an American, no, their agenda is something else. When they're selling the majority of the properties by opening up the free trade market so that you get all these Asians, not South Asians, but from the Asian market, China, places like that, okay? Where these people have money that they can come up here and offer $800,000. My landlord can get $700,000 for this piece of property. Go downtown to the West End in Vancouver, and those very same properties, since the political winds have changed, are selling at $1.2 million. And these people that are buying them from overseas are not even moving in. While the people that live in the community, just like they're building the condos downtown, you get the Asian market coming in. Asian. No one in Pacific, just somewhere from Asia coming in, right? Buying up all these condos, leaving them empty, while the people that lived in those buildings prior to being refurbished are being forced out into the streets and they can't afford housing. And then, if you're in a situation such as myself, here's the Shill network again. You're in a situation such as myself, and I have my child tax benefit, which is a legal right under the Constitution of this fucking country through the federal government, right? To help poor families, working low-income families. Personally, I think they should bring back the family allowance and make it universal for everybody, like they had it when they initially had it in the very beginning. I think the rich should get it, and I think the poor should get it. I don't think it should be chopped up into little pieces and based on income, because what it's done is it's given your government the power to turn around and take little children out of the home and then make some deal with the federal government so that all that money that used to go to the families is now going to the provincial government under the guidelines of what they find to be acceptable as a functioning adult parent, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a slippery slope we're on, people. Don't get me wrong. I understand why the provincial government gives me the $800 for Andre, but this Shill network seems to think it's a fucking benefit. And that we're not entitled to have that. And if we are, I should just pack up my little grandson and go put him in some mouse-infested, cockroach-infested... you think these impoverished apartment buildings, what, you think everybody's just honky-dory and happy? No, it has a high level of violence. It has a high level of mental illness because everybody's so stressed out with the poverty of their living environment. right? And everybody too afraid to step up and do anything about it, right? While the company is like, well, sink or swim, you're on your own. Because when we kick you out, we can just raise the rent and have another person move in and start all over again, because it's just water off a duck's back for them. They're in the business of that. But I'm in the business of talking about real people, real lives, real families, real homeless people, real children, real old people like my dad, right? And I put a face to it. I put sincerity on it in terms of the truth of how it affects, how the political winds comes blowing into my country, right? Because the Americans want to lock up 2/3 or half of their population through some prison industrial complex so they can turn a profit off people, and not and then say that they're a civilized society and expect Canada to follow suit. Because the people out here are desperate to keep their own damn paychecks. Because if you don't do the job, you don't get paid, like the cops. If you don't go in there and rustle everybody up and chase them in between all those no-cut fences, the city ain't going to pay you. When in fact it should be the federal government that should be paying the freaking cops. Because then it becomes at arm's length. Then the cops don't become corrupted, like the city. Because the city knows that there's not enough housing. So why, if that's the case, why are they raising the properties and making it harder for the property owner? So that the property owner comes back to the tenant and says, well, you either pay more or get out. Well, because we got the provincial government bringing in all these overseas buyers with their $1.5 million, drop it down on a $700,000 piece of property, and it's all good to go. They're banking it. And when the shit from Fukushima hits the fan, they're on the next plane out of here. You think they're really thinking about us? So this little shill network, I got you this time now, didn't I? Really? Think about it. Well, you come in there and you want me to not talk about real life? You don't want me to interview Pardeep? Kumar? I have to read it 50 times. Okay, just keeping this brief. I gave 1 raspberry to my landlord and 1 raspberry to Pardeep, and I gave 1 blueberry to my landlord, and I gave 1 blueberry jam to the fella on the streets that helped with this video. And plus I gave my landlords a tester to tell me what they think about the ginger, because they really like ginger. They will eat ginger with salt, plain up, straight. And apparently the sugar that I was using is for winemaking, and they don't necessarily like it either, but they'll let me know whether they like this or not. So, and there's the pickles, okay, and last night, after everybody was done their freaking cooking up in here, I don't know why they can't just fix up the kitchen for themselves downstairs, I started doing this at midnight, and I still got 2 more heads of cauliflower, which I only paid $2 each for, so $8, $4 bucks. Okay, so $4, okay, $4, and then we'll put in like $3 for the lids, and $5, okay, so we'll just throw in $5 with the sugar and the vinegar, and there's a couple carrots there and the lids, so maybe $4. So what was that? 4 and 4, 8. So for $8 approximately, that's what I got, and I have 2 more cauliflower to do. So that's what I'm gonna do, people.